as one of the founders of the event. I'm really, really appreciative of the fact that all of you have joined in and participated in this completely different virtual version of Ride for a Reason. So thanks again for being here and raising a phenomenal amount of money for all these schools.
Yeah, Mike, I didn't think that when we were at all those Zoom meetings planning this event that people really come out and people really showed how much they love riding and running and walking. We had 274 participants. We raised, as of today, $120,000. We set an audacious goal of $180,000, but we're not done yet. We can still fundraise until May 31st. And collectively, we've ridden over 15,000, walked or hiked or biked over 15,000 miles.
That's incredible. So next in line here is, I'd just like to take a moment and thank all of the R4R planning team, all the volunteers named here, representing all of the schools that benefit from the ride. And I spent the past year literally donating countless hours to switch the whole event over to from a live event to a virtual event. I just want to really thank everybody for just all the effort to make this happen. And also Jessica, who is our event coordinator, who has really been the linchpin for making all of this happen. So thank you, everyone. And again, R4R is pretty much all volunteer driven. So it's really remarkable. We've been doing this for 13 years with volunteers almost all the way. And that way, most of the money, virtually all the money goes to the schools.
And I'd like to thank our sponsors. As Mike mentioned, it's the sponsors that pay our operating costs. So actually all the money that you raise goes to the schools, 100% of it, which is amazing. So our yellow jersey sponsors is Consolidated Rubber Tire Fasteners. Our polka dot jersey sponsors are Hallberg Insurance, Farmers Insurance, and Prime Wealth Management. And we have a bunch of green jersey sponsors, and they're up there on the screen. And a really big shout out. Without these sponsors, we wouldn't be doing as good as we are. So if you know these places, go to them and support them. So because they support us.
Great, thanks JT. And I just want to acknowledge the schools that we're supporting. So the schools listed here are all the different schools in Oakland and Alameda that Ride for a Reason directly supports. And as JT just mentioned, all the donations that we collect through this fundraiser get equally distributed to each of these schools and the equity fund. So as of right now, if we've raised, what was it, $120,000, right? That means each school will get at least $10,000, if not more. So we're working towards that goal of 180,000, but so far we've made a great progress. And let's see, so during the event tonight, we're also going to get a chance to hear from some students, some teachers, and other public school supporters that support these schools or attend these schools. And we also have some fun trivia questions that we'll get to play along with and keep you engaged, hopefully, and test out how closely you've been following some of the email or social media posts that we've been making. And make sure you stay tuned until the end, because we have two special things at the end. We're going to see a compilation of video of all the photos and videos that people have submitted throughout their challenges this year. And we're also going to have a raffle with some great prizes to choose from. So if you're here on this Zoom call, you will have a great chance of winning one of our great raffle prizes. So stick with us until the end. All right, Mike, I think you're going to introduce our first speaker.
Great. Thank you, Shelley. Yeah, I'd really like to introduce two pre-recorded speakers we have. John O'Meara, he's the principal of Claremont Middle School. Actually, Claremont was one of the first 2 schools that benefited from Ride for a Reason. And also the Nilofer Hassan, who is one of the co-founders of the Equity Fund, which is really a fabulous way for Ride for a Reason to increase its impact throughout the Oakland school system. So, and in the East Bay. So here we go, Jono.
My name's John Mayer. I am the principal of Claremont Middle School. This is my 7th year here. And we love the work of Ride for a Reason because it raises money throughout Oakland for lots of different schools. And particularly here, we use those funds. They go into our PTA, and our PTA focuses a majority of its funding for equity work. So whether we hire somebody to do small group reading intervention, or we pay somebody to come to the class and do small group math tutoring, or just even to move around the classroom and support students who need a little extra support. So the money goes directly to help students who are a little bit below grade level and need a little bit more focused intervention. So one of the things that we take a lot of pride in is that Ride for a Reason started here at Claremont as one of the 2 original schools. And a lot of our parents get excited, families, they make it a whole field trip going up from here all the way to Sacramento, or just the Vacaville second half part, and to advocate at the steps of the Capitol to help increase funding for public education. And so I know as we get into spring and we get closer to April, a lot of families really get very excited about the opportunity. And there's a lot of sense of pride of it's not just about the 2 first original schools, but now that we're raising funds throughout Oakland for public education, and really critical, like I said before, how we do intervention, all schools target this money and make great use of it. My goal is in April of next year to join everybody and do at least half of the bike ride. I promised that to myself the last 2 or 3 years and come up short. And even last year when the pandemic hit, I'd already done a 25-mile bike ride and I was convinced I was going for it. So I'm hoping to join a lot of people for the 2022 April bike ride.
So we want to thank Ride for a Reason for being one of the large contributors to something that we have started called the Equity Fund. The Equity Fund tries to raise money from across our district, from the parent communities, from school communities, and from organizations that will help us wrap around and provide resources to our schools facing the highest stress. By definition, we're funding schools in some of our poorest communities in Oakland, schools with the highest number of high-need families, and schools that are also facing challenges like staff turnover and high numbers of new teachers. And the funds that Ride for a Reason and others are providing us is creating opportunities for those schools to do things that they would not otherwise be able to do for their kids and families. So we have schools that have created reading rooms and sent books home for their children. We have schools that were able to pay for computers and technologies, that were able to support and create opportunities for training and coming together of staff. We've really been inspired by the things that the schools have been able to do, and for folks like Ride for a Reason for participating in this effort.
Thank you, Nilofer. Thanks for all your work that you do to support our students in public education. I've really enjoyed working with you at Edna Brewer, and I'm glad our daughters are friends. So now I'd like to bring up a special guest for our trivia questions. Welcome Peter Lamada, a kindergarten teacher and famous YouTube reading sensation. Peter, thanks for joining us today. I'll hand it over to you for some trivia.
Thanks, JT. Thank you. You've set the bar quite high there. I'll be able to meet it now. Well, I'm glad to be here. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody enjoyed their ride today, or the different activities you're doing. I'm here to read out the questions, and I'm glad to be here, especially because if I'm not disturbing Jen Vedder's library class, it's nice to be here when I'm allowed to talk. All right, so the question for you is, what is Pat Wash's go-to ride food? What is Pat Wash's go-to ride food? Going once.
What's your go-to ride food, Peter?
I always have it's always a bar. It's always a chocolate bar of sorts.
I almost choked on my Cliff Bar on the last like 3 miles of my ride. I was like, it was the last several miles and I literally almost choked, but
Oh,
I made it. I'm here. I'm alive.
yeah. Good. All right, going once. I hope everybody voted. Going twice. Going gone.
We're gonna bring Pat up. He can share his.
Do I have to actually tell everybody?
Yeah, it's all you, Pat.
Because I'm such a celebrity that everybody needs to know what my go-to food is. It is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Congratulations. I started eating them a couple of years ago and I can't stop eating them now. It's like having dessert. They're so delicious. So
That's what I have.
congratulations for you all who got it right.
Thank you. So we will bring Peter back in a little bit for more trivia. Thanks, Peter. And now I'd like to introduce California Senator Nancy Skinner. We'd like to welcome Senator Skinner to our Ride for Reason family. Senator Skinner has been a big supporter of Ride for Reason since its inception, and she fights for education and so many issues that are facing our state. We're happy that she was able to join us today to share her love for Ride for Reason and for people helping people. Senator Skinner.
Hey, JT, I actually don't see Senator Skinner. She was here earlier. I don't see her here.
Maybe, can she raise her hand or we can come back?
Senator Skinner, are you in the room?
Yeah, I saw her name pop on too, but it looks like not here anymore. While we have this quick break, if your name is currently Jessica on Zoom and you're not Jessica, if you could change it, that would be great so I could enter you correctly at the raffle. So you should be able to click on participants and then find, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell which Jessica you are, but if you are, or send a message to me in the chat. Hey, I'm named Jessica, but my real name is this. That way I can put you in the raffle.
So why don't we head on? Well, if Senator Skinner does make it back, we can bring her back on when she arrives. But in the meantime, we can have Nina come on and introduce our next speaker. Does that work?
Yeah, totally. I am super excited to introduce our next speaker. Her name is Kira Mungia, and Kira started teaching in Oakland with me 8 years ago, and she is now the Deputy of Education in the Mayor's office. She is an incredible leader. She just got Forbes 30 under 30 for education, is doing amazing work, and started here in Oakland as a kindergarten teacher, actually. And so I'll pass it over to Kira to share with us a little bit about her history with Ride for a Reason and why she loves the ride.
Hi, I'm Kira Mungia, Deputy Director of Education for Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, here to thank you for running, walking, and riding for a reason. Although I secretly, or not so secretly now, don't know how to ride a bike, my first interaction with Ride for a Reason was 7 years ago, when I drove up to support my good friend, a newcomer teacher at Oakland International High School, as he biked for his third year from Oakland to Sacramento to fundraise and provide additional supports for his school so that his students could thrive. I was a teacher myself and was blown away by everyone involved in this beautiful effort. We know that no one does this work alone. To the educators, parents, families, friends, everyone who has supported, thank you for everything that you have done and are doing to wrap your arms around our communities. Know how much we honor and respect the incredible struggles that have been a part of this unprecedented year. The losses from COVID-19, the continued rage at systemic racism and oppression. We know we still have so much more to do, but that our power starts with us and our communities. and you are making that possible. Thank you for fundraising in such a unique and challenging year for our schools. I hope that in doing so, you have felt the love and the faith of this entire community. As a little background information that I'm sure you already know, but it's just so impressive, I have to say, this is the 13th year of Ride for a Reason. 13 years, wow, where parents, teachers, students, and community members have ridden their bikes from Tech all the way to the state capitol building in Sacramento to support public education. And over this time, Ride for a Reason has raised over $1.2 million to support public education. In 2019, they had over 400 riders and volunteers, and then COVID hit. So they switched it up, and this year are including runners and walkers alongside cyclists, with the hope to collectively run, walk, and ride over 50,000 miles this month. It's just amazing. It gives me so much hope. I'm full of hope for this year, and we're already seeing promise with COVID cases going down and more folks in our community getting vaccinated every day. But nothing makes me more hopeful than what we can do when we support our community and provide our children with an excellent education through our incredible public schools. So thank you again for all that you are doing to support our schools and communities.
Thank you, Kira. That was really inspiring, and I appreciate what Kira's doing for her support of Libby Schaff in education, and it's a tough job, and we really appreciate it. So I'd like to bring Peter back up to the stage for trivia question number 2.
All right, thanks, JT. All right, and oh, this one is Shelly. Where did Shelly Gordon do her 3-day bike tour? Was it Oakland to Monterey, Mendocino to Oakland, Oakland to Los Angeles, or Oakland to Lake Tahoe?
These all sound fabulous. I could do any of them except for Los Angeles to New York. I'm not doing that. Maybe when I retire.
Have you done any of them?
No, none of them. No, I'm lucky I rode 65 miles today.
That's it.
I made it over 2 bridges. So
all right, going once, going twice, going, gone.
hey, Shelly, what'd you do?
Well, apparently, I mean, all of these were so great, so I can see why it's evenly split. This year, I did a trip over spring break with my friend Nick from Mendocino to Oakland. So those of you that picked that, great job, you're correct. Yeah, it was a great trip. I highly recommend it. If anyone's interested, I'd be happy to tell you more about what I did. But yeah, Mendocino to Oakland, 3 days, beautiful.
Sounds amazing. Thank you. Peter, we'll see you in a little bit.
Yes.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Zach Pittsmith. Mr. Pittsmith is the band and the jazz band teacher at Edna Brewer Middle School and a first-year R4R participant, although after today, he's still going to come back and try to do it again, which is fabulous. I've had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Pittsmith for many years as my children played Edna Brewer's largest instruments, the stand-up bass. And I'm hoping, Zach, that you can tell us a little about how the Ride for Reason funds impact the music program and maybe Edna Brewer community in general.
Sure. Well, I have to thank you for the ride today. The double bridge ride was epic, was great. It started with a flat tire. So I if my first, step into Ride for a Reason was going to start like that, it actually didn't. I clocked some good miles the rest of this month, but it's been my 14th year at Edna Brewer and my first year of doing the Ride for a Reason. And I have no idea why it's taken me this long. Actually, I do know why. generally on a Saturday in April, pre-COVID, I would be doing something else with my students, like bringing them to Great America or a CMEA concert. So there's two things that the funds from this wonderful fundraiser has really supported: our field trips, the ability to take our students beyond the four walls of our classroom and be able to perform in the community. Obviously, running the programs that we have at our schools is costly, and I'm really excited for the support of this great fundraiser, Ride for a Reason. And I'm particularly excited about the direction of creating equity, and really trying to make sure that every school has the same kind of opportunity to have a great music program. That's obviously where my focus is, to really try to build up the programs around the district. But we've like Neela first said, we've really worked at increasing literacy and our reading rooms in every classroom, as well as our garden program and so many other things that at Edna Brewer has been supported by this program. And I'm definitely coming back. I'm super excited. And yeah, thanks for making me do this. And I'm gonna make sure that my Saturdays in April in the years coming up are gonna be, doing this. I'll be in Sacramento with you all next year, sure.
Thanks, Zach. Oh, wow. Can't believe it's been so long at Brewer. You're so dedicated. Thank you so much for all that you're doing there. And as we both know, and all of you know as well, this has been a year like no other for our students and our teachers. And yeah, the experience has been just something very different this year. And so a few of our students and teachers recorded some short messages to kind of share about their experience with distance learning this year. So let's hear from them.
One thing that I miss about in-person school is my teachers and my friends, because I can hang out with them. But since there was COVID, I can't. And yeah.
I've been able to keep up pretty well and get social interaction, but I know a lot of people have had trouble with that this year. I'm looking forward to being vaccinated. And the biggest challenge in school this year would be maintaining motivation, because you don't see your teachers every day. I know I personally have, and a lot of my friends have, struggled with motivation to do your work.
We're going back to school soon. It's something that I'm really happy about, but at the same time anxious, because I haven't been to school in over a year. And I can't wait to see our new campus, because our campus was actually newly constructed. Most exciting, I guess. Lots of things happened this year that I've never happened in my life before. I joined leadership, and I never thought that I would be able to do that, and I became class president. So everyone for supporting Ride for a Reason.
My name is Bobby Zane. I'm in 7th grade in Roosevelt Middle School. I'm hugging other friends and teachers and high-fiving them ever since the COVID has started, and that everyone had to stay home, which sucks.
And probably my biggest challenge in school is being able to focus on homework and getting things in on time, because like every day is so similar to the last, and you don't have that structure that school gave you, like having to be there for like several hours. So yeah, that's probably been the hardest part, but I think I've been doing pretty well considering that it's a pandemic. So yeah, thank you.
And I'm looking forward to the ending of the school year this year, because I'm going to be able to take a break from this chaotic school year. And the biggest challenge doing online school this year would have to be finding motivation to get homework done right after you've had like a full day of having Zoom after Zooms.
Hi, my name is Rafa, and I'm in the 7th grade, and I attend Roosevelt Middle School. Something that I have enjoyed about this school year the most is getting to know more about my teachers.
One thing I miss about in-person school is that I can hang out with my friends, and the lessons are more easier than online school because I understand. I can understand easier. One thing I enjoyed school this year was that I can still chat with my friends online, and I can still see my teachers.
Hi, I'm Mr. Acuna. I am an 8th grade science teacher here at Roosevelt Middle School, and I'm also one of the leaders for the Asian and Pacific Islander, or API Club, here at Roosevelt. And this year, even though we've been in distance learning, we still wanted to build community, and so we still meet and share our experiences, play games, get to know one of each other, and yeah, just hang out and have a space for kids to be in community with other Asian and Pacific Islander Americans.
Thanks to all of our students and teachers. We do Ride for Reason for you. All students deserve a stellar education, and we hope with a little extra support from Ride for Reason, the teachers and administrators can do a little bit more, and small things can make a big difference. Thank you. So I'd like to bring Peter back up. We got one more trivia question. Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you, JT. Well, I'll help out the people here today. JT, have you written your age yet?
No, I have not written my age.
Well, so we know one answer is off today for the next question we have. All right, the next question is, who rode the distance equivalent to their age on their birthday? For bonus points, enter in the chat how many miles they rode.
My son went out with a friend who was turning 18 and ran her age on her birthday, but I'm no longer going to be able to do running my age on my birthday. But maybe one day I will be able to do riding my age on my birthday. So.
Yeah, but it sounds like the best time to do it is now, though, because we avoid the extra miles. All right, so going once, going, gone. All right.
Should we bring them up?
Hey, Peter, so we've got a couple of people that have typed in the miles for 66, Napolitano 57, 70 miles. So that's the amount of miles that people have chatted in.
Oh, I think
all right.
it's on the screen.
Are we gonna reveal?
Yes.
All right, the big reveal. Well, it's me. Whoever voted for me, you got it. On April 3rd, I turned 70, and with the help of a few of my buddies, Paul and Mike and Cliff, we circumnavigated the bay and did an end of the ride up in the Oakland Hills with a fabulous view of actually the ride that we had just done. So we did 70 miles on my 70th birthday, and yeah, all for Ride for a Reason.
Mike? Did they have to like drag you along to get you up the last?
I was a little slow at the last climb up tunnel when we finally were finishing up there. So yeah, they were really helpful. I drafted a lot. So but one thing I just want to say, my real wish is, you know, I'm going to shoot for doing 80 miles on my 80th birthday for Ride for a Reason. But I really, really hope that we don't have to do Ride for a Reason in 10 years. I really hope that we will have schools that are funded and equitable, and we will be back to the way we were 40, 50 years ago in funding in California schools, where we were the example of the nation. So anyway, that's my real dream, is that we actually don't have to do Ride for a Reason, because teachers are funded properly and the schools are funded, and we can really provide the education we really should be providing to all of our students and all of you know, in every community in California. So
I like that, Mike. I think that's a good dream. I hope it's not a dream. I hope it's a reality in the next 10 years. So thank you. So now I would like to bring to the stage Katie Givler. Miss Givler is a special educator specializing in infants and toddlers at Burbank Preschool Center, which is part of OUSD. She's a parent of two and the PTSA president at Skyline High School. She's going to tell us a little bit about how Ride for a Reason funds impact Skyline, PTSA, and Skyline. Thanks, Katie.
Hi, thanks for having me. So Ride for a Reason is Skyline High School's main fundraiser for PTSA. We are a beautiful high school up in the Oakland Hills, but the majority of our students come from all over Oakland, and we're a Title I school. We have a huge diversity in the socioeconomic levels of our students and demographics of our population. So that means that our PTSA can't fundraise like some of the other schools. And so we rely heavily on Ride for a Reason in order to fund all of our programs. And before we started receiving funds from Ride for a Reason, we only brought in about $5,000 to $10,000 a year. So we really depend on these funds. So we use our Ride for a Reason funds. This year, we used them to create a Skyline Helping Hands program where we provided gift cards for groceries to some of our families who are in the greatest need. We also use our funds every year, but especially this year for teacher grants. Teachers use those grants to buy class book sets of novels for kids to read at home, so they're not only on screen. Also different materials for the teachers that they needed during distance learning. And then one program that was really lovely was Artist in Residence series that one of the art teachers created, bringing teachers to the, virtually to the kids and teaching them about what they do in real life, right? And then another fun thing we did is we paid for t-shirts for all of the staff at Skyline. And we just recently found out that it was the sort of unofficial teacher and staff uniform for on Zoom. So that was pretty fun. We also have used the funding, of course, to beautify our campus and to put up new signage and new lane markings and everything. And we recently bought a washer and dryer for our school so that kids would have access. For me, Ride for a Reason, I joined for the first time this year. Last year, I was just a funder, but this year I decided to ride because of the inclusive nature of the change of it being a walk, run, and ride. And so I rode my exercise bike in my garage, singing along, blasting away to musicals. So it's a different way than most people are doing Ride for a Reason, but it's very me. So thank you so much for all of the support Ride for a Reason gives Skyline and OUSD.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Thanks so much. It's great to have you participate this year. And I love your training regimen that you've got in there. That's fantastic. And also all the insight into the ways that the R4R funds can really help your school and similarly the other schools. So I'd like to introduce our Sam Davis, our next speaker. He's our newest OUSD board director on District 1 and also a parent of an Oakland Tech student as well. So over to you, Sam.
Thank you, Mike. And what an amazing event. It's just so moving to see how everyone comes together and the community spirit, raising funds for our schools, just the message that you send of, the positivity of exercise. I got the chance to go on the ride for the first time 2 years ago in 2019. And it's such a beautiful memory. I was looking through some photos recently and it's just feels like yesterday, that amazing summer day or spring day and riding up there with 400 people and all the amazing snacks you provided along the way to fuel us to the finish line. And I just am so grateful to the community spirit that raises these funds and also to the message that Mike was just putting out there that it isn't just a ride for as a fundraiser, but it's also a ride with a reason. The reason we go to Sacramento is to point out the inequity and the unfairness and the lack of funding for our schools and how much we need to do better in our society. And if anything has brought that home, it's this difficult year of the pandemic, the theme of systemic racism that people have been raising. And yet it's also really inspiring to see that we're coming out of the pandemic, that the attitudes in our society are starting to shift. We're starting to see some police accountability, and we're starting to see kids coming back on campus. It's been so heartwarming to get to go to some schools and see some kids. I can't wait till we all get to be there full time next year. And I really appreciate everything that you all are doing. So I don't know what else to say except, from the bottom of my heart, thanks to everyone who put this together. I'm excited to be a part of it. I was excited to get to go out on some runs over the past month and run off some of the stress of being on the school board. It's a really good way to de-stress every morning and to remember why we're doing this, what the reason is that brings us together to raise this money for those kids. Those were powerful testimonies. Thank you for putting it all together. So I'll turn it back over to you. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, thanks so much for your support. Oh my gosh, those snacks. I missed those snacks today on my ride. I really did. I needed the sandwich halfway through that we have at Ride for a Reason. So I'm looking forward to that next year. But yeah, appreciate your words, Sam, and thanks for taking the time in your busy schedule to support us again this year. All right, Peter, come on back because you get to do all the fun stuff. So Peter's going to come back and he's going to help us with our raffle. So what do we have for raffle prizes, Peter?
Oh, yes. So we have, Left Coast Yoga, a 1-month pass. So we have a 10-class pass and an R4R swag bag. Who doesn't want that one, right? And then entry plus jersey to R4R 2022. Time to prepare starts now, right? It is now.
All right, yeah. So if you win the raffle, which we're about to get to, you're here in the Zoom, you made it this long, you're in the raffle. If you win, you get to choose from these 4 prizes. But once it's chosen, that prize is gone. So pay attention and you can let us know in the chat. So for example, if you win and you want the Left Coast Yoga 10-class pass, let us know in the chat. I'll take number 2 so we don't give that to someone else. All right. All right, here we go. So we've got our Wheel of Names raffle here. Let's spin the wheel. Who's going to be our first winner? All right, we got a winner, Ideal Franklin. So I'll go back to your choices. Congratulations. And if you're with us, hopefully in the chat. Oh, Ideal's taking number 3, the swag box, the cap, the water bottle, the neck buff. Don't worry, you can still earn those things. We'll tell you how in just a moment, but number 3 is gone. Congrats. All right, here we go. Second winner. Let's see who's it gonna be. All right, Sarah. Sarah, you're the winner. Congrats. All right, you've got the choice of number 1, number 2, or number 4. Oh, Sarah takes number 2. Left Coast Yoga 10-class pass is gone. Congrats. We'll make sure you get that. All right, we've got a 3rd winner coming up. Okay, John, congrats. Congrats, John. You got the choice, number 1 or this hot prize, number 4. That's still in the mix. Entry to next year's. Ooh, John takes number 1, yoga, popular. Okay, wow, our final winner is going to take the grand prize, in my opinion, but you know, maybe not. But you're gonna, if you win this time, you get the entry to next year's event plus a jersey. There we go. It's gonna be a beautiful jersey, I'm sure. Here we go. Who's it gonna be? Connie, the winner. Congrats. You have won the entry to next year's event plus the jersey for Ride for a Reason 2022. Congrats. Thanks again for joining, everyone. We're not quite done yet. We still have our kind of wrap up with all of our images, and we have a few more things to share, but we are getting close. So you want to tell us about how we can get that Ride for a Reason box?
Yeah.
JT?
Yeah, no problem. The fundraising is going on, and you will have until Monday to rack up, to call all your friends, send more emails, post on Facebook about what amazing things you did today, and try to bring in a few more dollars. The incentives, $150 raised gets you the neck buff, $500 gets you the cap, and $1,000 raised gets you the Hydro Flask water bottle with the logo. And that closes on Monday. But keep the donations coming, because we will keep collecting donations through May 31st through Run Sign Up.
All right, great. Thank you, JT. And also, just following up with JT's message on the incentives, you'll be able to pick up your incentives. So again, you have till Monday to raise money to get to the thresholds to win the neck buff, the water bottle, and the cap. And you'll be able to pick those up at the sports basement. We'll send out an email and let you know sometime in May or early June. You'll be able to come by and pick all that stuff up.
We have a question. Someone wanted to know how many people participated. Again, they want to share this with their friends and donors.
274 people.
Wow. Awesome. That's incredible. So in the other big notice is save the date. Okay, everybody bring up your calendars, start typing it in. It's April 23rd. So one day before today, but a year from now in 2022, on a Saturday, we are going to do this in person. Woohoo!
Yes.
It's been 2 years, and I'm just so excited, looking forward to seeing everybody on the steps of the Capitol. So April 23rd, 2022. Get in your calendars now. And now I'd like to introduce, kind of close things out here. Again, just want to thank everybody for everything you've done to support Ride for a Reason, support Oakland and Alameda schools. It's just been a phenomenal year, and we're really closing in all of our fundraising goals. And I hope it's all been a great experience for everyone. I know when we do this in person, it just is an incredible emotional experience riding with everybody, and knowing that this is all for such an incredibly important and really meaningful reason. And we're going to close this out with an intro to a video montage we've done with all the videos and photos that everyone has contributed on the Viday that we sent out the link to. So here you go.
Ride for a Reason is about changing the way we fund public schools in California. So get out there and do your bit, and maybe there's ice cream at the end for you.
great to be in Sacramento again. Right for a reason. Wildcat ride number 2.
Go, go, go!
Action!
Woohoo!
Woo! Right for a reason.
All right, I think that's a wrap. Thanks, everyone. I did want to make one quick mention. I'm so sorry, but we missed a couple of our board members' names on the list at the beginning. So Lisa Zenner and Ann Kohler, thank you so much for your support as well. Super apologies for that. But thank you all for joining. If you want a raffle prize, we'll make sure you get that. So look for a message from one of us to get you your raffle prize. And feel free to stick around, but that's the end of our Zoom virtual finish line celebration. Any last words, JT and Mike?
Thank you for coming, everyone, and thank you for participating and raising money. And it's, we look forward to all being together to do this together next year. So it was a big group.
Great. I just want to say I love you all. That last video kind of gave me a little bit of that emotional experience I get when we end up at the Capitol with everybody. So really appreciate submitting all that stuff and just being part of this incredible event every year. So thank you. Bye.